Hi, just a quick discussion about the frontside Aussie grip. So usually the Aussie grip is on the back side, just like the other forehands, at 22 degrees between the continental and eastern, in the middle of those two grips. Today I was going to go the front side of the handle. So the front side is unusual side. So I'm going to go 22 degrees on the supinated side. The palm up supinated. So it's continuous with the closed face, downwards facing rear side of the handle on the backhand. So the pronated Aussie grip on the backhand side, and the dead facing forward face of the racket, open face on the forehand side. So the string bed's very open. So the irregular surface of the ground is good for reaction speeds, testing reaction speeds, because the bounce is very erratic. I'll just practice some dry volleys. It's a very easy grip to slice for backspin. Not the best for topspin, but it's worth an attempt. So kind of low topspin, slow shots. I'll just return briefly to a flat on the front side Aussie grip. So it's a bit different. The open racket face makes it improvise a small bit differently. So it's quite easy for body shots. Bend your elbows sometimes a bit more. So it's just a different maneuver to it. So body shot. So the body shots are very straightforward. So I'll try straighten my elbows. Bent elbows. I'll keep my wrists still, just use my elbows and body rotation. So it's kind of simple to use kind of a light topspin when your wrists are kind of still. Of course, it's naturally pointing upwards for topspin. I'll try to keep the racket handle angled backwards. Kind of resembles the serving motion a small bit for a flat shot. So in the racket handle backwards. And quickly I'll use some pronated backhands, Aussie. Upwards handle angle. So of course, this is with the 4-string bed on the Aussie. It's also possible to use the rear string bed for a 160-degree Western shot, kind of a extreme Western / Hawaiian grip. So Hawaiian's an upside down continental. Extreme Western is 135 degrees. So just between those two at 160 degrees would be kind of a rear side Aussie grip. It's kind of the upside down position, so it's almost, if no one's named it before, you could call it an Irish grip. I could lay siege to it, kind of a, but so just briefly I'll do 160-degree Western. Bit tricky, I'll keep my body very still and do a vertical windshield wiper from feet to head. So at high speed it was a bit easier to get the direction right. Another thing to notice with the slice on the Frontside Aussie Forehand, so it goes from backspin, side spin on the body shot, and if you continue it onto the backhand side, it's topspin, backspin, side spin, topspin. So it's good for practicing a backspin shot from the forehand side. You're good for practicing a topspin shot on a 160-degree supinated frontside backhand shot. Bit difficult, but worth a practice. So the frontside Aussie grip is kind of a difficult grip. I haven't seen any player use it before too much, but an advantage with practicing this grip even temporarily would be that for the rear side, the normal rear side Aussie grip, you can still do an open racket face shot on the rear side Aussie, and so doing a front side is good practice for the open racket face on the rear side. And another reason why this is important is because a rear side Aussie with an open racket face is symmetrical with frontside Aussie grip with open racket face. So on the backhand, it's very open racket face. So it's good for comparing the two shots. Let's do an open racket face on the forehand and the front side on the backhand. So I'll briefly do a normal frontside Aussie. What I'll try to do is I'll try to hit with the racket face open. So kind of easier to do after practicing the first one. So that was I practiced just the rear side Aussie grip. So when I go over to the other side of the handle on the front side, it's kind of a similar wrist motion. So if you can kind of get the hang of the front side Aussie grip, that's kind of like a perfect, kind of idealized version of an open racket face shot. So if you can get that even half right, it'll be great practice. So as you can see, all the different shots are very interlinked: backhand, the forehand. So deeper you go on the forehand side, it gets a bit trickier. So I was using a 22-degree Aussie. I'll go down to a 45-degree Eastern. So this Eastern, I'll go to semi-Eastern, between Eastern and semi-Western at 68 degrees. This will be very tricky. keep my arms still, we'll just rotate my body. Might be a bit easier if I put backspin on it instead. So even just get a light feel for the ball on these grips, just even in one practice session would be great. Overlap for your other shots, for your main shot, and just as I was saying, to be able to hit the racket with an open face on the normal rear side grips. So back to semi-eastern. With the semi-eastern pronated backhand. Downwards handle angle. Passbend. So semi-western will be very difficult, but just for a desperate attempt I'll try it. Just a short rally to keep it simple. I'll use only my wrists on the semi-western frontside grip. Again, ordinarily semi-western is the other side of the string bed, but I'm using the opposite one than usual. So I'll choose my wrists. I won't use my arms too much or my body rotation, just my wrists. I found that difficult, but when I return to the frontside Aussie grip, I should find it a small bit easier, having learnt the more extreme ones. So this will be less extreme in comparison. So another way to find synergy is to actually use a Western grip, a rear side normal Western grip, and to hit slow speed flat shots. Just like that. And the reason this would help is because you're using a really supinated kind of stretched wrist for a flat, but you're counterbalancing it with kind of a pronated kind of elbow. So the arm is kind of contorted and twisted, with the wrist rotating one way, the elbow rotating the opposite way. So when you return then to Aussie on the rear side of the handle, it will be equivalent to really supinating the wrist as much as possible so it's really stretched, and then counterbalancing it with a rotated elbow in the other way, and so it'll help your adaptation skills for the open racket face on the rear side Eastern Aussie. So I'll just demonstrate that, a Western flat shot. I'll just collect 2 balls. Western's ordinarily heavy topspin, but I'm using it on flat mode. So the bounce is very difficult on this ground. So volume will help because we'll avoid the tricky bounce. So for contrast, this is a topspin Western, the ordinary shot. With the windshield wiper. And this is flat. I'll go back to flat. Flash Western serve, anti-clockwise follow through. And so I'll return to a normal fence facing backwards on the handle, the Aussie grip on the forehand. So I'll try to mimic the Western technique on it. So with the wrists very stretched backwards and compensate with the elbow, just like I would on a Western flat shot. I think it's slightly more evident at low speed. Open faced, rear side Aussie. Vertical edges, just hitting the ball perpendicularly. Closed racket face with the strings down. So when the racket face is closed, you have to have a high rise on the foreswing. When the racket face is open, it's more even, more perpendicular, with kind of a lower rise. So closed face. So one last time I'll do frontside Aussie grip on the front side handle. So if the rear side is 22 degrees, you would call the front side a minus 22 degrees on the handle angle, if you were struggling to call it a name. I'll actually do a front side on the handle Aussie grip on for the backhand. So it's quite easy to see the similarities in the swing. This ground is almost impossible to hit the fourth string on, but I suppose it's good practice anyway for an irregular bounce. So the front side Aussie onto the backhand. So of course the front side Aussie backhand will be the same as the rear side Aussie forehand. Front side Aussie forehand, rear side Aussie backhand. I'll temporarily do just open racket face on the eastern and semi-eastern shots. I'll select more tennis balls. So